You see them from the street, off the highway and throughout town. Signs sprinkled around Roseburg, a dusting of remembrance and sadness and strength. In time, most will disappear, not because the murders at Umpqua Community College are forgotten, but because life moves forward.
We're not broken yet. So what do you need, Robbie?
But here, you can take the past with you forever.
I don't think anybody lives here that doesn't know someone that was somehow involved. Hi, are you ready?
Cherie Hall owns Tapestry Tattoo. Today, she was busy.
So it's the organelle line with Roseburg Strong and a green heart.
Really busy.
A lot of people, this is going to be their first tattoo. So that's really cool.
I'm kind of nervous.
Outside, Madeline Shirley was first in a quickly growing line.
I'm getting my first tattoo today, and I think this is for a good cause. So.
Few would argue, considering where she was October 1st, the UCC campus.
I was in the room next door, and I just remember hearing the shots, and then I ran out of the room.
On her 4th day of college, Shirley hid in the library.
I think it'll definitely be something that'll be with us for the rest of our lives. We'll always remember that day.
It's one thing to remember in your mind. It's another to remember on your skin.
A memory of a lifetime. Something that we'll never forget.
Tina Avendano was also on campus.
I didn't get to see what happened, but I got to hear the bullet sounds that went through.
There's your message. Hi.
I don't know what's worse is seeing something or hearing the sounds that were taking people's lives.
The tattoos were free, with any donations going to the victims. And they were another reminder that even if the signs around town go away, this tragedy is tattooed on its soul.
Welcome to the tattooed race.
Shirley's was just the first of the day.
I love it.
Hundreds waited outside to ensure they will never fade.
You know, 9 people lost their lives that day, and I'm doing this in honor of them. You know, those are moms, children, aunts, uncles. They're never gonna have their life back. I want this as a representation to honor them, and so that nobody ever forgets that day.
In Roseburg, Oregon, John Langeler, King 5 News. It was the haunting crackle of a feast.
It's eaten. It's a living, breathing thing.
Part of the Okanagan Complex fire, devouring dry grass, inhaling strong winds, and expanding.
This is a little different monster.
From Highway 20, the flames towered overhead just a mile from the road.
Oh my.
Reminding everyone being forced to evacuate exactly why they had to leave.
Fires from different counties are merging. Never seen it. It is flying down this hill.
And soon he'd seen enough.
I think I might need to go.
Okanagan County firefighters made one last visit to a home beneath the flames. One last warning to get out. Moments later, it's time to go. We joined them.
So we've been watching the fire burn. You can see it right here. It's crested this little ridge. We're on Highway 20, heading back towards Tenasket, and the winds have fueled it. Look at that. You can see how close it is right now. There's a family right below this ridge that just started evacuating, and we're getting the heck out of here.
It wasn't long before Tenasket High filled up with others trying to escape.
I got family on the west side. They're all freaking out because they called when we were fleeing.
Some, like Tony Harrell, lost everything.
You say goodbye, you know, and we didn't know if we were going to make it.
But the fires aren't stopping. And by early evening, all of Tenasket had to evacuate too.
A lifetime of memories is poof.
From the moment you get here, you know it's election season on Orcas Island.
You see all the signs and comes up in casual conversation.
People are talking about it a lot, especially at the farmers market on Saturdays.
There are 5 candidates for mayor, and as it turns out, they're the only ones not talking.
Bentley, you feel like you should be mayor? Sully, taxes. What should be done about property taxes on the island?
Because they don't speak human.
Affordable housing, Oliver, what's your stance?
It's the 7th annual running for the mayor of East Sound, a ferocious but charitable competition that ends tomorrow. Votes equal donations that benefit a nonprofit preschool.
Why do you think you're a better mayor than Granny? Hi, Lewis. Lewis, you can't avoid the questions forever.
There's Lewis, the sheepdog.
I have been wanting Lewis to run. I've been encouraging him for years.
Sully, the corgi.
She's the youngest candidate, so she has the freshest, brightest ideas.
Bentley, the cocker spaniel.
Is lovable and adorable enough to get you into office?
Around here, yeah.
Oliver, the parrot.
He's got a lot of unique qualities. He's not a mammal.
And leading the pack.
To interview the 5th candidate for mayor, we had to come all the way out to the Salish Sea because Granny doesn't live on land. She lives out here. There you go.
Granny is the 103-year-old head of J-Pod and wants to be mayor for some reason.
Granny, what's your stance on affordable housing?
Granny's campaign sent us this recorded statement.
She has the most experience and by far the biggest brain of the lot.
Even though the candidates are cute, the campaign has been marred by accusations and controversy.
I feel like the whale has an unfair advantage.
For the rest of the dogs, size does matter.
Every vote towards Sully, they got a free slush puppy. And then today...
Is that a bribe?
Yes.
Are you talking about a bribe?
We bribe.
A startling admission.
But I wouldn't count out the
Good thing political science professors Lena Mosley and Andrew Reynolds summer on Orcas.
I think the latest Supreme Court decision opened the door to slushes in return for votes. I haven't seen this much vote buying since I was in Afghanistan.
Hey guys, can I ask you something?
Children's House stages the election, so where better to hold a focus group?
Who wants to tell me who they're voting for first?
Oliver.
And tell him why Oliver's your favorite.
Because he's cute and fluffy.
$1 equals 1 vote.
This is the first time we've had a whale, so that's what makes it a little bit more interesting, but we've had cows and goats and so on.
Do you think that if Oliver became mayor, he'd be able to do something about education?
Yeah.
What about affordable housing?
No.
What about streets?
No.
Right now, Granny is way in front.
Go get your ball.
But the race is not over. Votes and donations still count. And a political fight with an honorary title on the line has once again unified an island with its uniqueness. In East Sound, John Langeler, King 5 News.
We have that reminder, 14 miles down the road, it's always going to be there, that scar.
It is a geological scar. A natural wound that will never be the way it was. Scene of the Oso landslide.
I was out there 60 plus days.
Dane Bruner knows the disaster more as an emotional scar.
I lost my sister.
He lost friends, acquaintances, and his sister, Summer. 43 people died.
To have her gone in an instant like that, and to not be able to have her here with us and stuff is heartbreaking.
Bruner searched the mud for weeks with so many others, hoping their strain would lead to survivors.
The mud was the challenge, but the mud is what united us.
United by mud.
Hi.
The phrase coats their shirts, and it's the mud bringing people here to the Darrington Rodeo Grounds.
Why I don't want to turn anyone away.
Exactly.
Rhonda Cook dug right next to Brunner. Summer was her best friend.
My whole life has changed. My whole outlook has changed.
She helped lead the effort to put on this weekend's United by Mud reunion. More than 500 people who in one way or another was touched by the tragedy. From search dogs, to victims' families, to first responders.
There's 4 houses gone. And then, in 18 years of doing this, I've never cried on a scene, and I started crying.
Who better to understand what you're thinking and what you're feeling is by sharing it with somebody else that's gone through it also.
We just said, hey, when it's all done, we're all going to sit down around a fire, we're going to have a beer, and we're going to talk about it. And this is it. This is that event.
It is one large session of group therapy.
It's great therapy. We kind of keep going back to that word therapy, but it's just...
Is that a bad word?
No. Yeah, it's an awesome word.
It's appropriate word.
Yeah, it's an appropriate word, yeah.
In Darrington, John Langeler, King 5 News.